Behind every Prada sneaker, clothing, bag, or fragrance lies a hidden network of manufacturers, factories you've probably never heard of. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain and ranking Prada's real manufacturing facilities. This is not speculation. These rankings are built on direct factory connections, in-person trade show visits, and sourcing projects I've personally been involved in, with brands who work with these exact factories. And for those trying to launch a brand or even understand how luxury fashion is really made, as an added bonus, I'm going to show you the exact same styles that Prada produces, but at a fraction of the cost. I'll explain how sampling in Italy, followed by offshore production, gives small brands the same design DNA without the big price tag. And yes, if you're wondering where Prada's bags are really made, stick around, we're saving that factory for the end. Let's talk fragrance, one of the most underappreciated yet highly technical segments in luxury fashion. If you've ever picked up a bottle of Prada Paradoxe, L'Homme or Less Infusions, what you're really holding is the work of Coty. Coty doesn't just bottle perfumes, they engineer scent at a scientific level. In 2023, they became the first to launch a globally distributed fragrance using carbon captured ethanol, meaning they literally turned industrial CO2 emissions into perfume alcohol. That's chemistry and sustainability working together on a mass scale. Everything from blending to bottling is done in Granollers, Spain, at one of the most advanced fragrance labs in Europe. Each formula goes through GCMS testing to ensure it hits the same olfactory notes across millions of units. Think about how hard it is when you're dealing with natural oils and temperature shifts in global shipping. When Prada wanted to launch a gender fluid scent with Paradoxe, balancing neroli, amber, and white musk, it was Coty's lab precision that made that scale possible. Coty isn't just a vendor, they're an essential innovation partner for Prada's global fragrance line. They lead the industry in sustainable chemistry, manage enormous scale without losing scent fidelity, and literally change the raw material game with carbon capture. That's top of the food chain. Hence, I have to put them in S tier. Let's talk knitwear, specifically fully fashioned luxury knits that feel engineered rather than just designed. That's the domain of Magnifico Matizia, founded in 1989 and now owned by Fendi as of 2022. They're based in Sant'Egidio alla Vibrata, a historic knitwear hub, and their 100+ artisans work with Shima Siki whole garment machines and Stoll flatbed systems. Here's what makes them different. They don't just knit panels and stitch them together. They program each machine to knit entire garments in one pass, with sculpted shoulders, zero side seams, integrated ribbing, and engineered shaping. Ever seen a Prada engineered sweater where the cable changes texture across the chest, or the arm tapers subtly with no seams? That's probably Matizia. Their pattern engineers literally write software code. Yes guys, they write software code to control stitch tensions, yarn path, and drape down to the pixel. They use Italian spun cashmere, extra fine merino, and silk lurex blends, all tested for pilling, stretch recovery, and hand feel. Final QC involves blacklit inspection tables, dry pressing, and needle by needle hand checking. So why S tier? Because globally this is elite. Even when compared to Japanese or Scottish knitwear icons, Matisse holds its own through whole garment engineering, in-house finishing, and ownership by a major luxury house. It's the perfect fusion of heritage, craftsmanship, and tech innovation. Okay guys, this one's for a bit of fun. Let's talk about Prada's eyewear. From Prada's symbol sunglasses to everyday opticals, all of it's made by Essilor Luxottica. They don't just own the Prada license, they also manufacture for brands like Chanel, Burberry, and Versace. Their factories are surgical in execution, acetate blocks are CNC cut, frames are heat formed and polished, and lenses are anti-glare coated to near perfection. They're also investing heavily into bioacetates, plant-based materials, and smart lens tech, including blue light filters and adaptive tints. Prada's eyewear quality is no accident. It's a product of vertical supply chains and millimeter level QA systems. For me guys, this one's an easy S tier. They have managed to master luxury optics. Luxury sneakers, the kind with real Italian craftsmanship behind every stitch. That's where Italian fashion team comes in. Based in Casarano, they started in 2007 and evolved into a full-scale vertically integrated factory by 2016. So they became vertically integrated very quickly. Today, They're a key manufacturer for Golden Goose, handling everything from prototyping to final assembly under one roof. Their strength, precision at scale. They run a dedicated sneaker production line, use renewable energy and work closely with local artisans to keep the craft alive, even as they produce at industrial volumes. Because Golden Goose trusts them with global production, they blend high-end execution with factory-level efficiency, refined and quietly essential to the luxury sneaker world. So for this reason, I'm going to rank Italian fashion team in S tier. Now let's zoom into everyday luxury jersey tees, polos, lightweight sweatshirts. These pieces need to feel effortless but last forever. That's where Confezioni Fabric comes in. Located just outside Milan, Faber is one of Italy's most efficient digitally integrated casual wear producers. Their setup uses Lectra pattern systems, automated cutting tables, RFID tracking, and ERP synced production lines. What sets them apart? They still use manual presses, finishers, and ironers at the end of the line. So while the cutting and assembly is automated for efficiency, the human eye still signs off on each final piece. If you've ever worn a Prada Linea Rosa tee or one of those minimalist stretch cotton long sleeves, odds are it's Faber. Faber delivers clean, consistent casual wear at scale with a strong digital infrastructure and sustainability credentials. But when compared to global elite jersey specialists like Loop Wheeler in Japan, who use tubular looms and produce fleece that lasts 20 plus years, still they're a top tier partner for brands who care about both quality and efficiency. So for me personally, I think Faber belongs in A tier, but right at the top. Last but not least are Prada's prestige product. When someone says Prada bag, they're thinking of something timeless, sharp-edged and perfectly structured. Enter Desert International, a firm that's not just manufacturing leather goods, but redefining the blend of old world technique and modern machinery. Founded in 1972, Desert is a dual operation setup, design, development and finishing happen in Poppy, Tuscany, while scalable production is done in their Turkish facilities. This setup gives them the best of both worlds, Italian design DNA and global scalability. I've seen pieces from their Tuscan operation firsthand. We're talking laser guided cutters, automated Juki AMS stitching, pattern grading software, and then hand finished touches like edge burnishing, strap reinforcement, and gusset shaping done by craftsmen who've been doing this for 30 plus years. If you've looked closely at Prada Sidoni, Galleria, or Vitello Dino totes, that dead straight edge paint and smooth pebble grain leather, that screams Desert to me. On the sustainability side, Desert is part of the LWG Gold certified network and they're on track for carbon neutrality. Their tannery waste system is one of the cleanest in Europe. For anyone trying to start a leather brand, here's a tip. Get a sample made by Desert and then duplicate it in your own supplier factory. Learn how they make that edge finish and how they build structured linings and how they treat their grain leather. You could also order the leather from them and then send it to your manufacturers to copy the design. So you may be wondering, why do I put Desert in S tier? Well, because Desert isn't just technically elite. They combine old school Italian craft, industrial scale capability, and sustainable standards that meet luxury expectations. That makes them world class in my eyes. So there it is, a full breakdown of some of the factories likely behind Prada's most iconic products, from high performance sneakers to fragrance chemistry and luxury leather goods. If you're serious about building a brand, use this video as your cheat sheet. Understand the value chain, starting with a sample in Italy, finish production somewhere else. Quality isn't about location, it's about specs. Now, you guys may remember I mentioned me speaking about how you can copy some of their stuff and replicate it for a cheaper price. How I would go about it is some of these manufacturers may sell the fabric or even the product itself. Contact them, get the fabric or the product, work out what they're doing by giving it to a supplier, and then from there they can do the rest and you tell them the design that you want. This will make it a lot cheaper for you. For instance, if you were to get a product from Italy like a fabric or a leather, you could ship that off to China and I'm pretty sure someone could replicate what they're doing. Comment below if you want a full ranking for Loro Piana, Louis Vuitton, or even Balenciaga next. If you learned something today, hit that like button and I'll keep bringing you behind the curtain of luxury manufacturing. Peace out.